What's up, G Show land, and welcome to another episode of the G Show podcast. I am G1, and this is the Geek Out, episode 11. It's been a weird weekend, man. It's a weird week. The last couple weeks, there's been some things to drop in the news, and last week we did a complete Wonder Woman review because it was just that good. So we did the whole Geek Out was basically on Wonder Woman. This week we're gonna get back into the news stuff from last week. Big stuff that dropped this week. I mean, humongous stuff. We're going to talk a little E3 Star Wars Battlefront 2 trailer, because that was crazy. and I'm going to give y'all a not so spoilerish review of The Mummy, a mini review. But before I get all into that, let me introduce you to my co-host today, my partner in crime on the G Show, G95, a.k.a. Matt. What's up, my brother?
What's going on, guys?
We fine. This is me and you today, Han and Chewy, brother. Han and Chewy.
Yep.
So yeah, all right, man. Let's get right into this, man. I'm gonna kick it off with a bit of sad news because, it's something close to the childhood. Yesterday, Adam West passed away. Adam West is Batman. A lot of you should know that. I mean, he's the first Batman I remember, and is one of my favorite Batmans. The campy style of that TV series, it struck me as a kid. It was just perfect. I loved everything, the colors, everything. And as I got older, I loved it even more. I learned to appreciate how zany it was, where Batman is playing it straight, and everybody around him is kind of like not. I just love the idea that Batman didn't get it, because he's the world's greatest detective and shit. So I just love that take on the character, and a lot has to do with Adam West's performance and portrayal of Batman. And it was just one of these things, man. I was watching The Mummy yesterday, caught matinee, and when I came out, my Facebook feed was blown up. Adam West passes away. I'm like, no. And it hurts because literally Wednesday I was just watching. I was browsing YouTube, and I came across this... It was called Return to the Batcave, the Adventures or the Misadventures of Adam and Bert. And I was like, what the hell is this? And I put it on, and it was a 2003 TV movie. And it was Adam West and Burt Ward on a case to locate the missing Batmobile. The Batmobile was stolen from a charity event. And it was just so funny because, Adam West was getting all into his Batman mode. And Burt Ward was all like... Dude, those are characters on TV, and I really like this movie, man. I like they went back and they showed them as when Batman first started and how they got the roles and just all the behind the scenes stuff. And it was a really well done TV movie. I had no idea this thing came out, and I didn't. When I put it on, I was like, I'm not gonna watch 10 minutes of this. I watched the whole hour and 40 minutes. It was just fun. It brought me back. It gave me a real nostalgic kicking ass. And, I was just sitting there watching these two dudes who I grew up watching and loving, as older gentlemen. And I was just enamored. And especially with Adam West, just like, this dude he's fucking Batman, bro. Adam West, I love everything. And yeah, then the news yesterday. So that was messed up. I was feeling it yesterday. I was like, damn. But, he was up there in age. And I just want to thank him for everything he's brought to me as far as entertainment goes. So that's just my 2 bat cents. Matt, what about you?
I mean, you summed it up perfectly. I didn't necessarily grow up with the 60s Batman, but, I've seen it, and I do, like, gotta respect the classics and stuff, and his contribution to Bat lore, I guess, and the character itself is, it's undeniable. He's did voices in Batman the Animated Series. He did voices, I think, in The Batman.
Yes, he did.
I think it was the Mayor.
He was the Mayor,
yep. Obviously, him and Family Guy, and, like, I grew up with him more as a voice than as an actor on screen. He was, he was playing Catman in Fairly Odd Parents, and stuff like that. So that's how I knew him, and then kind of grew up to discover he was Batman and a lot of people consider him the Batman. So his contribution to the character is undeniable, and he had a good long life, and he was always good sport about being Batman and being known for being Batman and stuff. And he seemed like his last few decades he was just having a good time with it, just living up to the character and living up to his legacy and going along with it. And it's a lot of respect and props to him, because not how many actors like they're so against this one character that they're known for, this one movie or show or whatever, that they refuse to even talk about it. And here he is, just always has time to talk about it and make time for fans, and was still a staple at conventions and stuff, even though he was almost 90. It's just shows the kind of caliber he was, as a person, and his dedication towards his fans and his past and stuff. It's we lost a good one.
Yeah, it's two this year, man. We had a Batgirl pass away earlier this year, now Batman. So it's rough, but again, man, I just think everything. I got to grow up with Adam West as Batman, and it was glorious. It was glorious. But let's get off of that sad note, because he was a happy dude, and like you said, he always embraced the character. So let's embrace this week's Geek Out news. Something that happened not this past week, but the week beforehand, and that is something right up your and my alley. The Godzilla vs. Kong movie 2020. Legendary has announced its director for the movie, and that comes in the form of Adam Wingard. Now, you have a lot more experience with the dude as far as watching his movies than I do. So I'm going to let you take the reins here. How do you feel about this choice, picking Adam Wingard? And do you think we're going to get an epic romp with him?
I don't really know how I feel about it yet. Like, I'm a fan of some of his work, and a lot of it, some other stuff, it's like, why, I don't get it. It's just bad. Like, Your Next was fantastic. Actually just watched that last night. It's a great movie. His segments in VHS are some of the best in those movies.
Wait, which ones were they? So I can know, because I've watched all those VHS movies a couple of times.
I don't remember offhand.
Okay.
Which exact segments he did, but when I watched, because it's been a couple of years since I've seen them, but when I saw them, I kind of like they stood apart from the others. I don't remember exactly which segments they were. He's also doing the upcoming Netflix live-action Death Note.
That's right.
As a fan of anime and as a fan of Death Note, I'm not totally sure how I feel about it, but I'll give it a shot. Give it a fair chance. And he also did the newest Blair Witch, and that was exceptionally shitty.
Really? I still want to see it.
It was really disappointing. It was kind of just a generic movie. There was nothing special about it. There's some points that were kind of cool, a little spooky, and other parts that were just dumb. So he's a very hit and miss kind of filmography. I mean, it's a little early to write Death Note off as a miss or a hit yet, because it's not coming out for another couple months. But it's a pretty divisive thing. But the whole whitewashing thing is a totally different subject.
Right.
So, and he doesn't seem like he's never really done big budget, effects heavy things. It's a lot of practical, a lot of low budget little movies and stuff. And so he's an interesting choice for what's arguably going to be the most effects heavy out of our MonsterVerse.
Right.
They're going to go all out for Godzilla vs. Kong, as well they should. So it's an interesting choice, and I think he'll be able to pull it off, because Your Next was like such an ode to slasher movies and such a like a deconstruction of the slasher genre and the home invasion stuff, and that I think he'll be able to do something really cool with the kaiju genre. So it'll be interesting, but I'm looking forward to it.
I'm the VHS. I liked the first one. I think there might have been one or two vignettes in the second one. The third one was utter trash. I couldn't stand any of those damn things. Mm-hmm. So whatever he directed in the first one, props, because I liked the first one. There wasn't something I didn't like in that one. I want to see Blair Witch. I do. I can't lie. I remember seeing the first Blair Witch in the theaters, and I can't even front, man. I was scared shit. I was sitting there like, oh, God, like, what am I doing? And I just like the ideas of 20 years later, they going to revisit this thing. And I like the secrecy around it. That was called like the forest or something, or the woods. And then it turned out to be Blair Witch. I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah.
It's just disappointing because it turned out to be such a generic movie.
Oh, we're going to get to something like that in a few, but go ahead.
Yeah, well, there's just absolutely nothing special about it. Nothing exceptional or anything different. They kind of just did the same thing over again. It was a lot more like boo scares. And it was, there's a couple little cool things, but a lot of it was generally a bad movie.
Oh, wow. Damn it, man. Stop ruining my anticipation for the movie that's been out for a year already. But as far as him on Godzilla versus Kong goes, he's a fanboy. I mean, I've seen his tweets, his comments. He's a fanboy, and he had the compendium there, and they get ready to go. The Godzilla compendium, they get ready to go, and as long as the trend now, it's shifting from Gareth Edwards' masterpiece Godzilla. I don't care what y'all say. To Kong Skull, to Kong Skull Island being that crazy action adventure. Godzilla 2, we're going to have multiple monsters, and now, of course, like you said, the spectacle, that should all culminate in Godzilla versus Kong. He's got a lot on his shoulders, man. And I really hope wherever Godzilla 2 leads to, he could just pick it up, run with the ball, and deliver a really fun. Because we're not looking for Academy Award winning movies here. We're looking for fucking giant monsters destroying cities and kicking each other's asses. And I mean, Toho has made a career in our favorite giant monster just by doing that. So with today's technology and the library of all those previous movies, take the best parts from it, mix it up, play with it, throw it in your movie. And let's have a good time. So, yeah, Adam Wingard directing Godzilla vs. Kong. Not bad. We'll see what happens. Watch it be so good he gets a Star Wars movie. Like Rancor versus the Zillo Beast. That would be dope. Give it to me now. All right, listen. Let's get off of Godzilla and Kong, and let's talk Wonder Woman. I know we did the whole thing on Wonder Woman last week, but there's some crazy news that happened. We were all under the assumption that Warner Brothers signed Patty Jenkins to a multiple film deal. Apparently, that's not the case. They only signed her to a one and done because, and it kind of makes sense. What if Wonder Woman did fail and flop? Then it was all right, just one and forget about it. See you later. Now, this movie is crushing the box office, getting tremendous critical praise. The ball's in her court. There's no way you don't sign Patty Jenkins to direct Wonder Woman 2. She even says, I got a story. I know where this is going. Her team is on board. I mean, in just the press junkets, you hear the whole cast, the way Gal Gadot talks about her. They have this synergy together. You don't want to break that apart, So Warner Brothers is either going to have to come out of their pockets, which is justifiably deserved, or what if, and this is a question I'm going to pose to you, What if Patty Jenkins says, you know what? Money aside, that's what it's good. Give me some more creative freedom with this. Let me do my own thing. Let me assert my footprint into this thing. And what if, because we know the unfortunate situation with the Snyders, what if she, along with Joss Whedon now, begins to shape and mold the DC universe going forward? What do you think about that? You think she, maybe that's in her head right now?
I think, her influence on the DC EU as a whole is a little kind of jump to the gun a little bit right now, just because it's so soon, and given the circumstances with the Snyders, I'm sure there's lots of talks going on right now that we're not aware of, but I think it's just a little soon for us to jump on that. But I do definitely think that Warner Brothers will, sign her on for another movie, whether it is another Wonder Woman movie or something else. I'm sure it'll be Wonder Woman 2. It would be fucking dumb of them not to do that. But yeah, I think I could see her having a little bit more creative control. She could. I mean, maybe you could be right. James Gunn, he was given the offshoot kind of weird. He was given the Risk movie.
Yeah.
That was Guardians of the Galaxy. It was a huge hit. He was allowed to do what he wanted for Guardians 2, and now he is kind of spearheading is it Phase 3 or Phase 4? The unofficial Phase 3 or Phase 4?
The not so Phase 4, Phase 4.
Yeah. So he's kind of spearheading that. I mean, I doubt he has like Kevin Feige level of control, but he's got say. So we could see something like that. We really could. But Warner Brothers is not Marvel or Disney. It's a totally different company, totally different mindset, and all that. So we just got to see where it goes. But I would love to see her have a bigger influence on things, because I think she has a great mind for story and a great eye for visuals. And just even look at a movie like Monster, where it's talking about like a fairly vicious serial killer that was Eileen Wuornos, and making her a somewhat sympathetic character. And that was a fantastic movie. And this that came out in 2003, I think, and this shows that she's still got it. She's still she's better than ever.
Yeah, I like what you said there. The storytelling that she does. Just take her and Joss Whedon. Joss Whedon with strong characters, and then her just leading those characters into battle. Like that. That's just that's a pretty scenario for the future.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Warner Brothers, they got to sign her for part 2, definitely. Wonder Woman, I don't know what the box office numbers are today. I didn't get a chance to check, but it's got to be crushing. And I just can't see the Mummy beating it out, especially, we'll get to that in a little bit. But her at the forefront, I would even say more like how Marvel has a round table, not really a big round table because Kevin Feige pretty much runs the show, but take something like the Transformers, for instance, and I hate to bring it in and try to compare these two, but the Transformers, Paramount went and they got a writer's room. And you got like 7, 8 writers in the room together, and they're all crafting these stories, and they all start cherry picking to make these movies. Something like that. DC needs something like that. They need a room with these, whether it's Patty Jenkins and Joss Whedon or Jeff Johns, even the Snyders. When they come back, because I don't think they're not gonna ever come back, but I could be wrong. They're going through it. But just having a nice creative boardroom where the studio doesn't interfere, let the juices flow, the imagination go, and give us a proper DC EU. And Wonder Woman, for me, I mean, and granted, it doesn't contradict anything that we've seen already, but it was a nice jumping off point for something fresh. Even though we know what happens in BVS, and we've seen, Man of Steel and Suicide Squad, and we know it's a darker world, Wonder Woman kind of gave it some hope that going forward after Justice League, we can turn it around. So, and again, we like you mentioned last week, man, we got Aquaman still too. So I'm looking forward to seeing what James Wan is doing with that. But we shall see. We shall see. Anything else you want to add to that? Or you good?
I think we summed it up pretty well.
Okay, well, jumping off of the DC bandwagon and right onto Marvel. Marvel cannot be outdone. Marvel is like, yeah, Wonder Woman, that's cool, that's nice. Check this out. Bam! Black motherfucking Panther trailer. Take it all. Holy shit, time out. It's an understatement to say Black Panther stole the show in Civil War, because he did. And Spider-Man aside, I love Spider-Man, but Black Panther was like, whoa. They nailed the suit. T'Challa was nailing the wife for the love of God. Am I drawing blanks on his name right now? I'm going to shoot. Chadwick Boseman, thank you. I said his name like 100 times on Saturday. No lie. When I seen that trailer and I was bullshitting with my friend, I said that name, not Saturday, Friday, 100 times. And I just dumbed out right there. Holy crap. I'm going to tell you something. This trailer, now and I'm not, that Thor Ragnarok trailer is the greatest trailer ever conceived in the history of trailers. I don't care until something better comes along. That is the trailer. I'm not saying the Black Panther is close to it, but in typical perfect Marvel fashion, bam, they drop something on you that is just like, are you kidding me? What the fuck is this? Listen, man, this movie got my money. It had my money since it was announced, because I've always been interested in Black Panther. I've always liked his character in the comics. I was always a Black Panther fan. This trailer, just seeing Claw and homeboy from Civil War, what should I say, fucking Smeagol and Bilbo Baggins in the same room talking, right? Having a conversation and setting it up. I love the idea of Wakanda being like El Dorado. And he's like, oh, but it's not in South America, it's in Africa, and I'm the only person. That mystery it set up was gorgeous, because it was kind of like, okay, we know Wakanda exists as a country, as a nation, as a sovereign, because of Civil War. But what we don't know is what Wakanda really is, and I think that's what he was getting at in the trailer, and I fucking ate it right up, and I loved it. And Bulletproof Black Panther, and then you see Creed up in that motherfucker, and just everything, man. You see Michonne from The Walking Dead, little Lupita Nyong'o. I'm done. This movie, when does this movie even come out? February, I think? I'm about to go. So? I think it comes out before Infinity War. But I could be wrong. But I believe that...
It has to, at this point.
Huh?
It's got to come out before Infinity War.
Yeah, so it would be
if they're dropping teaser trailers before Infinity War is even remotely close to finish filming.
Right. Yeah, so it would be Thor Ragnarok November, then Black Panther February, and then Infinity War probably in May.
About Spider-Man next month, I think.
Oh yeah, no, I'm just talking about in that time. Yeah, of course, Spider-Man. That's there. I'm just talking about like in that wrap up and that. But yeah, so I was actually shocked that they dropped this on a random Friday. I mean, I'm still trying to figure out the significance for that Friday trailer drop. I know D23 is right around the corner, and that's Disney's convention where they show all their shit, where there's their Disney animated films, their new Disney animated to live action films, the Marvel stuff, the Star Wars stuff. I mean, dude. Okay, I've said enough. What about you?
Yeah, I was actually like thinking for a while, there was no Black Panther news for a good long time. There was like at least 4 months with nothing. And then just this past week we get like something along the lines of like posters being dropped or something like that, and I'm like, okay, cool. Like, where's the trailer? You guys have been working on this movie for what seems like at least a year now.
Yeah.
And we were getting like no news. I thought maybe this was like a really troublesome project for Marvel that they're kind of just trying to like shove it on the back burner and sort of make us forget about it a little bit. And that was kind of going through my mind this past week because we got that little news of a trailer or whatever it was, or a poster. And I thought, like, all right, well, give me a trailer because that's what I want to see. And then fucking it drops and it blows my mind. I think it blows Ragnarok out of the fucking water.
Don't make me come through the computer and choke your ass out, bro.
It just got me so much more excited than Ragnarok did. But yeah, this movie is gonna be fucking great. I think that little 2-minute teaser, it's not even a full trailer. It's basically just it's a teaser trailer.
That's crazy.
I think it's so strong that I might just stop here with the trailers and just I might just avoid them. I might just wait the next 8 months or whatever it is and just go into it totally fresh because this movie is gonna shake a lot of things up. It's coming just a week after Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman is obviously groundbreaking for putting women in the forefront of being badass. And then you see a bunch of black actors kicking fucking major ass. And I mean, there's been black heroes and protagonists before, but this will be something really big. That I think people were talking about initially, but they're not, and they will talk about it when the movie comes out. But I feel like this is something we should get ready for because this is going to shake things up. I think this is going to be a big movie for representing black actors and stuff like that. And I think that's fucking awesome.
I agree 100%. One of the things that hold up, massive echo. All right, hang on. I'm getting a super echo. All right, I think I got it. Oh no. All right, anyhow, one of the things that I'm loving is that Black Panther is not really known outside of the comic book heads, and what we got in Civil War was a perfect taste and representation of what we're going to see. I mean, this is going to be T'Challa in his natural habitat. Just he's got to run a country. He's the king of a nation, and the shit that goes along with it, whether it's political or the Claw, for instance, Ulysses Claw trying to just take what's theirs, their natural resource, the vibranium. I love this idea. And let me tell you something. You're right. Not for nothing. I get crazy when I hear teaser trailer and it's 2 minutes long. That's not a teaser trailer. That's a fucking trailer. Teaser trailer is 45 seconds, maybe a minute. That's a teaser in my book, right? This was a full-on trailer. Ryan Coogler got my money. Because he, like you said, it was just so well put together. It looks so good. The performances that you see just in this teaser, quote-unquote, trailer is rocking.
Let's talk about how awesome that music was, too.
And the music was crazy, dude. And me and my boy was talking about that. And he was like, dude, then the title card pops up and the music's still going. And I'm like, dude, this is fucking sick. It's like, yo, I am... seriously, I'm over the moon for this shit. I really like what Marvel's doing in terms of where they're going with. And again, we really don't know what's going to happen after Infinity Wars. We have no fucking clue. You still have Spider-Man. If Sony's smart, you keep Spider-Man and Marvel. You keep Sony and Marvel a joint thing, and let them pump out whatever they want to pump out. But to give us these newer characters, the Black Panther, a Captain Marvel coming later on. It's important. Like you said, it's important, especially for the African American community and just black actors in general. This movie. No offense to you, Shaquille O'Neal, but this shit ain't Steel, brother. This is not Steel. This is not Kazam. No, this is the Black Panther, and Marvel has a track record, and the track record has been proven. And this trailer just solely shows more of that win. So I cannot wait.
I think it's probably gonna fucking. I think it's gonna, like, Luke Cage was my favorite of Netflix series by far, and I think this is gonna put Luke Cage to shame. I think it's just gonna, like, put. I don't know. It's like blaxploitation in the 70s was obviously a thing. We got Shaft and all that, and we've had black representation as, like, an action hero and, like, badass, but I think this will finally put it in a light where it's both addressed and taken seriously, which I feel like is something that hasn't happened a ton in the past. Because blaxploitation is, the action, they were, the action stars, but they weren't like serious, they weren't, movies that are taken seriously.
Right.
They're just like cheap 70s grindhouse movies. But, this is big budget thing. And a lot of times if they do have a black protagonist, they don't address it. And I don't think it should always be addressed. It doesn't always need to be a thing. But sometimes it should be a thing. Sometimes it should, in a movie like this, a superhero movie, it should be addressed. And it should be taken seriously. And I think that this will do that justice.
Yeah, well, it's just this trailer alone. And listen, you're going to see the full trailer when you go see Thor and Star Wars. You know that's going to be pumped out. So you're going to have to go get your popcorn at that time. But yeah, anyhow, listen, Black Panther, unreal. I was blown away by it. I can't wait. Marvel's knocking it out the box. Everybody in that trailer looked stunning. And damn that, I think there's only one thing that was like, ugh. And that's at the end when he does the flip off the car, because a lot of people complain about the cheesy effects, and Wonder Woman looked like Blade, and and that's what it reminded me of. That flip on the car is like, then again, I'm saying, but it's also a teaser and it's not fully rendered. So, because the same shit people were beefing about with Spider-Man in Civil War when that trailer dropped. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, yeah, okay. Outside of that little tiny, not even a nitpick, just something that registered in my brain, like people are gonna beef about this. This is gonna be a fantastic movie, and I can't fucking wait. God, hurry up! Fucking February, if it is February. Oh yeah, listen. Marvel does no bad in my book. Disney does no bad in my book. Disney does no bad, especially when they go and buy shit like Star Wars from Lucasfilm. Speaking of Star Wars, holy shit. We're going to get into a little video games here right now because this is the Geek Out. And yes, the E3 is out. The Electronic Entertainment Expo is on this weekend into I think till Wednesday. And yesterday, EA Electronic Arts did their little conference. And the star of that conference, no pun intended, was Star Wars Battlefront 2. And they dropped the trailer. And oh my God, I've never looked at Theed on Naboo like that ever. And now I really am like stupid excited to go blow up Theed on Naboo. Like, holy fuck, yes. I don't care if I'm in the clone army. I'm gonna execute Order 66 as soon as I play the game. I don't care. I'm just gonna go. Like, let's fucking do it. But it was insane. Even the droids, you had the Roger Rogers and all that shit in there, but it felt so visceral and like, this is what we wanted to see. Not the Gungans throwing plasma balls. I wanted to see. I'm like, granted, the clone army wasn't around in episode 1, but still, I digress. I was blown away by this trailer. There's a lot to break down. There's one particular thing I want to get to at the end, but you not being a video game fan, you had the pleasure of seeing this and dropping it up on the G-Show page yesterday, man. What was your reaction when you saw this shit?
I was astounded. It looks so fucking pretty. Oh my God. I hope that was like actual gameplay they were using and not just like the flashy scaled up stuff that they use for trailers. But yeah, I might have to buy a PS4 now, finally. because, like, god damn, that just looks so good. I mean, and that was they addressed the complaints of the first one.
Right.
You got free DLC, you got Clone Army. It looks like you can finally do dogfights. Darth Maul's going to be in it. Kylo Ren's going to be in it. Fucking Yoda and Rey, and you get to play as the First Order, and oh my god, it looks so good. Like, the original Battlefront 2 is one of the games that I hold in the highest regard, because I grew up playing that.
Right.
It's up there with Halo 2 in terms of just nostalgia and quality. And I think this will finally, be close to living up to that. And, hopefully there's a galactic conquest sort of storyline that they had in the first one, or in the original Battlefront 2. I never liked the original Battlefront game too much. I thought it was a little dated, a little lackluster. And everybody kind of feels like, the new Battlefront was pretty lackluster too. The hype kind of wore off after the first week. It was like, oh, this is actually all we can do. Okay. But this one, they just expanded on everything, and it looks fantastic. I cannot wait to play it.
Now, I agree with you. I want to see the Galactic Conquest mode myself because I enjoyed that. I'm a dick. I'm straight up. I had Battlefront 1 and 2 back in the day on the PS2, and I loved both games. I did, and I loved Galactic Conquest. I thought that was ingenious. And then my dumbass traded them both in, and I can never get them back, and it hurts because I'm like, oh, because I like Battlefront, the one that came out 2 years ago. I do. I just suck at it because it's multiplayer, and I don't want to do that. So if they do incorporate Galactic Conquest into this new Battlefront 2, I hope there's, obviously online version, but I hope there's an offline version too, where it could just be you and bots. You and the AI, because I hate getting my ass handed to me. The other day, matter of fact, a G-Show podcast regular, me and JR, we were playing the original Battlefront. I mean, not the original one, the one that, recently came out, the recent Battlefront. And he hates the fighter squadron. I love the fighter squadron because I hate running and gunning. I get my ass kicked. But in the X-Wing or TIE Fighter, I'm fucking nasty. So we were playing that, and then he was like, oh, you hold down this trigger, and then, oh, okay, now. And then next thing you know, he was nasty. And I was like, shit, now you're taking all the kills. But it was fun. It was fun, because I was like, oh, here we go. I'm playing with a friend, and we're actually doing damage. Like, I'm okay. I'm not the greatest, but I'm okay as far as Fighter Squadron goes. But now all of a sudden, he picked it up and quick, and we were just crushing it. And I was like, this is fun. But it's fun, but there's times where I just want to be by myself and play the game by myself and enjoy it without having to get killed every single time by somebody else on the opposing team. I hate that. If it's the AI, I gotta up my game. If it's somebody else and he's just that good, I am never gonna beat him. So I hope that for this Battlefront 2, because they have a story mode, and I want to talk about something there real quick, but I hope for the outside of the story mode, we have a mode where you can just play it by yourself with just bots, and like Galactic Conquest, that was such a fucking good mode. That's one of my favorite modes in video games. The way World Tour and Street Fighter Alpha 3 was, I just love those modes. And yeah, so here's hoping. I didn't get to see the press conference. I admit I was watching The Mummy, but I got to see the trailer and was blown away. But speaking of the story mode in that trailer, there is something that we know that they say all of this shit is going to be canon as far as the story is concerned. The story mode. I saw something that my eyeballs almost popped out of my head because I said, okay, where does that take place in the canon? Because I know that this story is supposed to span from maybe Empire Strikes Back. You definitely know that the Battle of Endor happens because she sees the Death Star explode. And it goes into, I don't know how far up to The Force Awakens, if it even goes further into The Force Awakens. There was an Imperial Guard, a red Imperial Guard, and its helmet was a screen and Palpatine's face appeared. I screamed. I said, "What the fuck is this?" Because this is canon. Now, this can't happen after Endor, right? It just can't. It's impossible that this happens after Endor, correct? Unless it's like, this is my final message. You know? You saw this, right? You saw what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
What was your thoughts? Because it fucked me up. I was like, wait, what?
Well, I didn't recognize that was Palpatine. So that kind of changes some stuff now. But two, I don't necessarily know if I totally accept that this is canon, because you see Yoda fighting Darth Maul, and he's got legs.
The story mode is canon. The game itself, that they made a mistake with the first one, and they said they made a mistake. You can't really make all that shit canon. These battles like that, you can have canon battles. For instance, you can be on Endor and do that. You can have Jakku, where they had the battle for Jakku, where you see that Star Destroyer falling down. But as far as how you play and what happens with your team, that's not canon. The story mode, though, is away from all that. The story mode is single-player campaign. This is actual canon. And that's why I'm excited. I'm like, whoa. And that's why when I saw Palpatine and that screen face, I was like, whoa, wait. When does this happen? When is this? When is this? Because you would think Palpatine would just be on a little hologram, like in all of Star Wars lore. He would just pop up. If he wants to talk to you, here's the hologram. Boop, boop, boop. There's Palpatine. And he says what he has to say. Why would he have to be in some Imperial Guard's viewfinder? It boggled my mind. That's all I'm saying. I'm sitting there like, what's going on?
Okay, well, I'll have to look at that from a new light the next time I'll watch the trailer. But I don't know. I guess I don't know much about what they've said that the story mode is going to be like yet. So I don't really have any reference points, so I can't really make an opinion. But all I know is I kind of don't totally consider the games canon, but we'll see, because Alien Isolation is canon. That kind of fucks with some stuff.
Right. I still didn't finish that game.
But so does Alien Covenant. So, I mean, whatever. And then there's apparently, I'm getting off topic here, but there's a book that takes place between Alien and Aliens where Ripley, her shuttle gets rescued, and somehow there's an alien on board, and she has to fight the alien along with the crew of the ship. She teams up with the crew, and they fight the alien, and pretty much everybody dies but her. And they throw her, she gets hurt, and they throw her back into the hypersleep and launch her ship back out. And she, because of her injury or because of the hypersleep, she has amnesia. So that's apparently a canon story in the Alien lore, where she fights another alien between Alien and Aliens and just doesn't remember it.
Well, maybe that's why she's such a kick-ass character in Aliens, because of the muscle memory now.
I don't defend it. It's dumb.
Don't you dare mock my alien. That's I didn't know about that. Now I'm intrigued. I'm going to look that book up and see if it's better than Covenant, which it probably will be. Covenant.
It's probably a better story than Covenant, but I refuse to accept it as canon.
I hear you. I hear you on that. I'm just letting you know, though, Lucasfilm did say this is canon.
Well, if it is canon, then it's not gonna. I don't think it's gonna shake too much stuff up.
Right.
They leave the big revelations for the movies.
Right, and that's exactly that. And you got to remember the story basically is following this Inferno Squadron, which is it's all Imperial. You're playing as the Imperial in this story, so it's I love that idea that you're not, it's not you're the good guy fighting back. You're the Imperials, and in their sense, they may be freedom fighters, not freedom fighters. That's the wrong term. That would be a rebel, but they're they're the galactic cops. They're policing the galaxy. It's their duty to do this shit. So I'm just looking forward to that, man. Like I said, I saw that Palpatine thing, and it has to happen before Endor explodes, or it's his last will and testament, and this is what I need to do. But I don't know, I'm excited. November can't come soon enough. That's my birthday month. That is my gift to myself. And free DLC, so I don't have to go and spend $120 again, because I spent $120. That's right, I don't care. I suck at the game, but I spent $120. If I don't have to do that again, that's even better. Massive props to you, EA, and Lucasfilm, and LucasArts, and all of that good shit. Speaking of things that aren't so good, unfortunately, you didn't get a chance to see The Mummy yet, right?
Nope.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the part of the podcast where I have to say some things about a movie I thought was going to be like the sleeper hit of the summer. It's not. It's just a sleeper. That's all it is. It's like, for real, it's boring. I was so upset. And I will say this. A couple weeks back, remember I said something on the podcast where like one of the last trailers came out, and I found like they went like a different tone. It was a little more lighthearted. It almost downright comedic. Remember I said that was a couple of podcasts ago.
Yeah, I remember that.
There was a comment saying that I might be overreacting and this, that, and the third. And I was like, maybe I am. Then I seen the movie. And no, I wasn't overreacting, because this movie is not a horror movie. It's a fucking flat-out comedy. It's a damn comedy. And it pisses me off. Because this is not what I want to see. What the fuck is this? I'm going to tell you this right now. There's no spoilers in this movie. And what I mean by spoilers is there's no oh shit moments. If you're setting up a universe, there should be oh shit moments. Godzilla, 2014, we didn't know how big they were going to go as far as setting up a universe. And there really isn't no oh shit moment until Godzilla grabs the fucking Muto by the face and spits atomic blast down its throat. That's an oh shit moment. Nothing like that happens in this movie. There's nothing, no cool scenes. I seriously was sitting there like, what the fuck what is this? And it's comedy. It's comedy. I mean, look, I will tell you there are a few things that I was like, okay, I dig that. But it didn't do anything to change the movie and how I felt after it was all said and done. The first thing off the top is Sofia Boutella. She's beautiful, period. I love this woman. I fucking love her. But she's way better in Star Trek. I just want to throw that out there. She's way better in Star Trek. When she, you see the plane sequence and the shit crashes and shit, right? And then there's a plane wreck. There's two cops, and she's, now she's out of the sarcophagus, but she's still like a decrepit creature. And the CG is really hard to see. It's very dark. And it's it's a night shot, so it's very dark. They hide a lot. But she basically mummifies these two cops, and I thought this was a really cool part, only because they looked cool when they came back as, like, zombies. But this is literally just 15 seconds of cool shit on screen. I was like, God, because, I'm a zombie. I like zombie shit. And I was like, oh, if she, creates an army of undead like this, I think I would dig it. Now, that didn't continue. So, it wasn't any plot, anything to move the plot forward. It was, she created a henchman, and I liked the way it looked. I was like, thought that was cool. Russell Crowe as Mr. Hyde was dope. We talked about Russell Crowe chewing up scenery a couple podcasts ago. He definitely does. But again, it's not a no shit moment. There's nothing happens that you're like, oh shit. It's just Dr. Jekyll comes with Mr. Hyde. We know this. And that's exactly what they gave us. He was great. He chewed up the scenery when he was Mr. Hyde. But he was Mr. Hyde for 3 minutes. That's it. And then you don't even see him again until the end of the movie. And you're like, what's going on? And I'm sitting there he was, seriously, it was one of the best parts of the movie. And that was it. He was gone. And that really was it. That was it. I was so upset. I was upset. Now, I hated Alien Covenant. I don't like that movie at all. I don't. It wasn't, and we already had that review. It wasn't what I thought it should have been or could have been. I don't hate The Mummy, but I won't recommend The Mummy. You know what I'm saying? It was, Tom Cruise was Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise was Tom Cruise, being funny, a little goofy. He reminded me of his character Ray from War of the Worlds a bit. Just a bit, though. As, it's kind of a selfish dude. There's more to it than that. You know, it's not just him being something. There's a lot more to it. And he really kind of amps up this. I'm telling you, it's like, it really is like comedic. And I just sit there like, what? Even the girl, like, all of a sudden she starts joking. And I'm sitting there like, what the fuck is going on? It's a comedy. And it bothered me. It bothered me because you're setting up the dark universe. And there's nothing dark about it. There's no scary moments. There's no horrifying moments. There's nothing that really... I swear to God, you know what it is? It is the fucking Mummy. It is Brendan Fraser's Mummy set in modern times, but with Tom Cruise in it. That's exactly what this movie is. That's exactly what it is. It's Brendan Fraser's Mummy. They didn't change nothing. It was just... We've seen this movie a million times. I'm so fucking mad at it. I'm venting like crazy. I was just, yeah, there's one cool thing, and it's a glimpse, and that's it, and that's while they're in that prodigium thing, and you see all the skulls and all that shit, and it's just like, okay, but it's completely glossed over. It's just like, hey, check it out. Yeah, there everything is, and it's nothing cool visually like, oh man, that looks awesome. It's just, and it bothered me. I'm sure people are gonna like the action. I didn't. I thought the action was bland and boring. Outside of the beginning that you see in the trailers where they're running across the rooftop, that was it. And I just, yeah. Dude, I'm telling you, straight up comedy. They even ripped off shit. They ripped off fucking. Yeah, you'll see what I'm saying. Because I don't know if that's a spoiler. It's not really a spoiler, but it's just, it's so stupid. So stupid and boring. I had such high hopes for this movie, and then the reviews started coming in, and I was like, I'm not going to listen to it. I'm just going to go in and see it. Because everybody was praising Alien Covenant. And I came out a different way. Nah, the reviews pretty much stack up. It's not a good movie. So yeah, listen, if I could save you guys $10 fucking dollars, or if you're going to go to the movies this week, go see Wonder Woman. Go check that out again. Because it's by far the best movie in theaters right now. So yeah, that was my spiel on The Mummy. I give it 2 out of 5 Brendan Frasers. That's what I give it. That's what I give it. It's terrible, man. I was so mad. Why? All right, look. Yeah, did I sway you in any way? Or no, you still going to see it?
I think I'll still see it, but now I'm a little bit more disappointed. I thought I was going to be like unfazed by all the bad press it's getting. Up until just now, I was still really excited to see it, and now I'm not so excited to see it.
Well, if you want to get a chuckle, I honestly too, the comedy, I just want to say it didn't work. And not only because I feared for that, but it was I don't know. I don't think Alex Kurtzman has it. Kurtzman. I'm not trying to knock the dude, but it kind of, dude. You know what it reminded me of a bit? It kind of reminded me of like a Uwe Boll movie. Jesus, what was there was a video game movie. Don't Be Afraid of the Dark or some shit like that. Right? What was it?
Alone in the Dark.
Alone in the Dark. That one, yeah. It's with Christian Slater, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what it reminded me a bit. But as far as direction goes, it reminded me in the vein of that type of movie. That's what it felt like. And I'm sitting there like, Tom Cruise signed on to this? I saw an interview with Tom Cruise earlier this morning, and he wasn't shitting on the movie. Of course not. He's promoting the movie. And he was like, he said, when I read the script and when I see where they want to go and take this dark universe, I was so in. I was all in with it. And I was like, okay, I see. Well, this movie sucks. This is still a bad movie. He had to see it. And I think maybe he did know it wasn't that good of a movie, which is why they did this comedic style. Because it might get people in. And that's the whole thing. It's like, it's not even funny comedy, but it's appealing to a certain demographic. My daughter would laugh at it, but she's 13 and she doesn't watch movies like that. But she would probably laugh a lot. I couldn't laugh at any of those jokes. Everything felt forced and contrived, and I was like, thumbs down. But Sophia Boutella, she ever want to punch me in the face the way she punched Tom Cruise in the face? She could punch me all day. All day. I ain't mad. She could punch me all day. She could give me a kiss and turn me into a mummy. I ain't mad at me, her zombie slave. I ain't mad at it at all. But yeah, anyhow, that's that. Well, listen, we're coming to the end of the podcast here, but before we do, I want to, my good friend Matt here, he suggested we do a new segment at the end of each podcast, and I actually like it, and so we're going to run with it. It's called Recommendations. And it's basically, we're going to, recommend a movie, a comic book, a TV series, a video game, whatever. We're going to recommend something to you guys, and then it's up to y'all if y'all want to go check it out or not. But this is just something that you get a glimpse inside of our personal worlds and what we like and what's going on in our personal worlds. I just said that. Anyway, Matt, what's your recommendation?
Well, it's kind of tough choice for the first one, but I'm gonna go with a South Korean film called The Wailing. Came out 2016, so last year. It's kind of the story of a cop in a small town, and he's trying to uncover sort of the mysteries of there's like all these murders kind of just springing up and people getting really sick, like covered in rashes and boils and stuff, and this all kind of started after this mysterious Japanese man came to town, and they're trying to figure out what his deal is, I guess. It's a really long movie, very slow burn kind of thing. It's 2.5 hours. It starts off kind of sort of funny a little bit. The cop, he's not the brightest bulb, and they kind of play some of that up for laughs. But it slowly does get more and more serious. It's not particularly scary. There's a couple points that were really creepy, but it does have an overall very dark atmosphere that's like it has this consistent tone of dark and weird and creepy. That I liked a lot. But the one thing I would say, just like more than the story, more than how well told it is and how well paced it is, I would say watch it for the performances, because like holy shit, I don't even remember the last time I saw acting that fantastic. It's some of the best acting I've ever seen. And like when you see bad acting, you can spot it. When you see good acting, you're like, oh, I appreciate that. But this is like, holy fuck, good. It's on Netflix. The Wailing. It's subtitled, so if that turns anybody off, you want to keep that in mind. But definitely check it out.
So, what do you think? Double feature that in Train to Busan?
That's a long fucking night ahead of you.
That's all right.
2.5 hours and 2 hours for Train to Busan. But yeah. Start with The Wailing and then build up with. You could go just total South Korean triple feature that's on Netflix, and first start with The Host, then The Wailing, and then Train to Busan. You got yourself a long movie night ahead of you. But yeah.
I really like The Host.
It fits very well, kind of with some of the tones that Train to Busan had.
Gotcha. Wow. My recommendation is also a film. It's a film I got to watch this week, and a film that I found better than most of the films I've seen this year, and that movie is called Life. The movie came out, I think, in February of this year. It's basically a probe went to Mars, picked up some microbes, was on its way back to the ISS or whatever, some space station, and they had the scientists on there to look and see if there was maybe anything inside the soil that could live. And the movie's called Life. Of course, if you've seen the trailer, you know something happened. The thing does come to life, and it's very nice at first. It's playful, and then an accident leads it to become aggressive, and then this thing gets big, and then this thing is just, it's scary. It literally reminded me of the first Alien. It's claustrophobic a bit. It's not as good. It's not, it's not as dark. It's very well lit. But the creature itself, I dug it. I know one of my friends, Mark, he was like, I don't know, when the creature evolved towards the end, it kind of looked goofy. And I understood what he said. I don't think it looked goofy, but it was more like a manta ray or some shit, like a with tentacles. It was crazy. I liked the design. It looked like something that, it looked Martian. It looked alien, and I really appreciated that, right? Yeah, as far as acting goes, you're not going to get top-notch acting in a movie like this, but it did its purpose. Jake Gyllenhaal did his thing. Why can't I'm drawing blanks today on names, but Deadpool. Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds is in it, and
I saw the name of the cast, and I was sold. I will watch anything with Ryan Reynolds. Ryan
Reynolds is totally Deadpool in space in this movie. He's absolutely Deadpool in space. He's Wade Wilson in space. He is. I was like, he's not even trying to be somebody different. He's fucking Deadpool. But I thought it was cool. I think the dude's name was Joe. I forget the actor's. I don't know the actor's name. He's a Japanese actor, and you've seen him in a couple of things. He's in a lot of things, actually. I thought he was really good. But again, don't give him a lot. The gist is, the movie really gets you on the creature, and just its inherent nature to just kill. It's freaky, man. But I dug the fuck out of it, man. I was like, this is what I wish Alien Covenant was. And I don't mean that movie, but in that vein, you know? Scare me. Make me feel the way the first Alien made me feel. And so that's my recommendation. If y'all haven't checked out Life and you want a good science fiction horror flick, that's a good one. And the ending is really good, man. I would love to see them continue something with this, because I'm a sucker for shit endings like that. I'm a dead-ass sucker for endings like that. But yeah. And speaking of endings, that brings us to the close of this podcast. I want to thank y'all all for hanging out with us and geeking out with us, me and Matt. Man, my allergies are kicking my ass right now. The sniffles are hitting hard. Anyway, we're out of here. Yo, Matt, thank you for joining us today.
Of course. It was a good time as always.
Absolutely, man. And I want to thank you guys for geeking out with us. And like I said, if you want to go to the movies this week, go see Wonder Woman. Trust me. Save your money. You don't want to see the Mummy. Or go see Life. Go Redbox it. Go get it. It's awesome. But anyway, we're out of here. Peace.